Hello! Welcome to this Eyes of Harmony. Delayed first thoughts. Probably about our third thoughts at this point, or maybe even our fifth or sixth.
I was ill.
Comrade was ill.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Look, we can forget our very small viewership.
I survived.
I'm sure you were a survivor of the Flux. There we go. Nice. That's a nice segue. So yes, episode 5 of Doctor Who Series 13, or Doctor Who Flux, however you want to go. Whichever one you want. There's so many now. Who even knows anymore? So yeah. Let's dive straight into it. There's kind of three main plot threads, isn't there? There's the unit stuff, there's the Doctor stuff, and there's the kind of companion stuff. Which one do you want to talk about
Well,
first?
the companion stuff, and then we sort of get a bit of
and a tiny bit of Bell.
Bell and Vinda.
Yeah. Okay. So which do we want to go with?
I guess we can go from ones of least sort of like screen time, I guess.
Okay, so Bell and Vinda.
Yeah.
They're there.
Vinda had like what, 2 scenes?
Yeah, very little. I love how they made such a big deal of him, even though Jericho and Carvanista have been in it like more, I think, screen time, and I care about those characters more.
Well, I don't know about the Professor, but like Carvanista certainly.
I don't know, the Professor after this week and then the week before, he's a decent amount.
Vinda did have a decent chunk during the whole
episode 2?
Episode 3? Yeah.
Yeah, 2, I think. Oh, I don't know. No, 3 when he relived
3,
his
yes.
thing.
3, that's what I'm saying,
but yeah. Yeah, it was fine. I did quite like that they almost got to meet up again.
Yeah.
And then that I thought was...
He got yeeted out of
there.
there.
Yeah, she got fucking... And like, even it was like, oh, warp drive, someone's in a hurry. I was like, I did kind of like that. I do like in stories where, they get so close and then not quite there. Like, how they did it in Series 4 with Rose and the Doctor, she kept showing up on screens and stuff, and they almost got so close and they're not quite there, and
Yeah.
I do kind of
the wrong universe.
I do, I do enjoy those kind of little kind of those kind of story tropes. I always like that. When will they? When won't they? I mean, we started to get more answers in this episode, but let's go.
But then we got a whole lot more questions.
Yes, that was that's the struggle. But let's talk about unit. Okay.
This was a good. Yeah,
my favorite part of this episode was the whole unit creation. I really liked. They kind of got the years right, because I was a bit worried to start with. Because I was like, no. When the first scene happened, I was like, oh no, don't undo like the whole invasion thing. How it was set up between the kind of Web of Fear, and I like that they talked about the War Machines as well, because that was kind of obviously
because
at the same
that
time.
was again very much a precursor to the unit style story, despite not even being in the unit style, not even close.
Yeah,
but it kind of feels like of that era, right?
Yeah. It's super close in terms of, like, in years, at least in the same year. I think like Web of Fear happens in like I think 67, isn't it? And I think War Machines happens in 66. So I think that they're like a year apart, so it makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm glad they kind of got that. It made sense. People were trying to say, oh, the Brigadier's cameo line, which was really nice. I love that they got that little... Like, oh my god, but Terror of the Autons didn't happen until the 70s. So I'm like, he could have asked to call the RAF at, like, just because they took that line from that episode doesn't mean that that's the only time he ever said it in his whole
it's
fucking
not
life.
Happening then.
Like,
especially given that he's still a corporal at this point.
So, it kind of like...
And they do have a line which mentions that some of the dates have been tampered with or something.
Yes, I did. Yeah, that was great. So yeah, the Grand Serpent's creeping up, kind of showing up at different points in time. And,
but they explain that by only having him sort of like not being there, like when the Doctor is at unit, because he sort of comes and goes.
He's time traveling, as Kate said. It's like, what has this been to you, an afternoon? Which I really like that. I like that it's ambiguous as well. Like, how many things has he been manipulating? Like, who else did he help in? Like, did he help the Zygons
and
back
of course,
then?
Yeah, and of course, the overall question is what is the ultimate purpose of what he's doing. I guess beyond letting the Sontarans in, right? You know, what's
Yeah.
his end game with that?
I think his thing is obviously he lost his empire in the Flux because it destroyed everything. So I think he just wants some sort of power. So if he lets the Sontarans in, they've probably lied to him and offered him something, you know, as Sontarans do. I mean, they did what they lied to Genius Kid in the other one.
Ratigan.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Because they lied to him about the other planet, didn't they? That was the whole thing with that. So yeah, I like that whole story. I thought it was cool, the visual of the kind of snaky thing. I really like that.
Yeah, and I liked some of the attention to details, like the fact that they got the unit building from the 60s to look like it did, specifically in the Five Doctors. Actually, the exterior of it, plus of course the costumes were perfect. Then it was also great to see Kate Stewart again and get a little bit with her. And
yeah, it was kind of, it was almost a shame that they revealed her in the Next Time trailer. Because to me it was almost like because she was actually in it so little, it didn't really. It would have been a nicer surprise if she just showed up. And you know, it was cool. It was cool that, you know, she
is weird given how secretive they are about everything else,
right?
But...
Like, I thought that that was actually a worthwhile secret to then, you know, crop up in an episode. I mean, it's nice that it explained, you know, why Unit's gone. We finally got payoff for it, I suppose. So, you know, it was a 2-year wait though, which was a weird one. But hey, whatever. I'm glad that Chibnall kind of at least had a plan in the back of his head.
Yeah.
You know, what he wanted to do with it.
Some idea.
And it's different. It's different. Let's be honest. You got to try new things, and this I'm completely fine with. The fact that it's still about probably just underground, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with that.
Well, and from the Next Time trailer, Kate Stewart's kind of running some sort of underground unit.
Yeah, off the grid. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. I thought it was, you know, I enjoyed those scenes. Like, Craig Parkinson is really good as a serpent. I think, you know, sometimes I like those just kind of evil presence kind of villains, you know.
Agreed.
So yeah, everything about that I enjoyed. I really hope we see Osgood, but I just got a weird feeling that we won't, which would be a shame.
No, I mean, it was nice to get the name drop.
Yes,
at the very least. But
that was such a cool scene. I love that, the whole breaking the phone and just running off. Very cool.
Or possibly, like, when everything is done and dusted, maybe they could cameo Ingrid Oliver, but I don't know. We'll see, I guess.
I hope
probably won't be a big part of it at all. It'd be nice to see her, though.
I mean, again, like, Chibnall basically invented Osgood, so, you know, it would be nice. But yeah, okay, companions, they were all over. They're
everywhere. And again, everywhere. I also really quite enjoyed this part of the episodes as well.
Yeah.
You know,
we finally saw Yaz's, like, policeman training in action, taking down the guy. John Bishop looked really hot in his white shirt there. He was looking very handsome, was John Bishop in this episode. But yeah, I really enjoyed the whole
like. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the hermit scene.
Like, that was fun,
like, I'm only teasing. Like, weird. Guy. Like, probably on a rewatch, you'll be like, this is a really, like, you could probably use this time for something else, but it's charming for what it is. And, you know, it's like, get your dog, which was cool.
Yeah. I did kind of like the balance of, like, throughout, like, Yaz being both proactive, but also, like, you know, still. It's kind of struggling under, you know,
the pressure of leading.
Doctor, and the doc just having the doctor left and just having this hologram she plays on repeat.
I mean, 3 years is so long. Like, like, she got mad after, like, what was it, 9 months with the prison one? Like, this one's just like, 3 years. And like that whole the message obviously was a really nice scene. Like, where's that been for the last couple of series? You know, it was just. There's something about the Doctor and holograms, and like, it was just really nice dialogue. I feel like we've got a better balance with kind of Jodie's Doctor this season.
Oh yeah,
I think compared to, like, we've got this balance of a more snappy and, you know, darker side, and then this nice joyous, you know, talking to herself kind of characteristic, which is probably not my favorite characteristic of them all, because it can feel a bit, you know, expo dumpy, but
Yeah,
we
yeah.
move.
Well, I mean, I think that's just Spittle's
this.
writing in
Yeah,
general.
I think that's just this era, and that's what it is, and it's fine. But yeah, so their kind of adventure is fine. I'm interested why that one Lipari ship broke away, right? And then instead of taking control of that one and adding it back in, he then connected to one the other side of the universe and yeeted Bell
were
all
they
the
not
way
able
over.
to at all? Or
I think maybe it was broken, but I'm sure you could just board it and find out what was happening on it. I hope something comes into that.
But they couldn't leave. Well,
yeah,
I guess
it was. I don't know. I mean, they're just connected together as a shield. Who knows? Who knows?
It's probably something set up for next week.
Yeah. So
alongside many other things.
Many other things. So obviously, we got the main storyline, which
yes.
So I was a bit disappointed that the whole Angel thing was dropped so quickly.
I knew it would be, because as again in the last episode, the Doctor was only being transported as an angel. I didn't think it was going to be a major thing.
I felt like she was I just felt it would be more than that, and it was it was this whole cliffhanger, and it was just, oh, we just did it for fun. That was it. I always preferred the Weeping Angels just being these creatures of want to eat. Yeah. I want to eat. That's all I want to do.
Yeah, the fact we got even beyond just that one rogue angel talking, we got a whole bunch of them talking now. It's it kind of spoiled the whole point of them at this point.
The mystery, yeah.
We've seen them move, we've seen them talk. It's
just get them to do a dance. Just dance.
Yeah, well,
break it down. Yeah.
It's like most of what made them
threatening and scary.
Blink.
Yeah. It's because you can. I feel like you can have a conversation with them now, but before it felt like that wasn't. It wasn't really doable. Like they had no mercy, exactly. And I mean, while Time of Angels did have the conversation with Angel Bob, I still felt they were very.
It there either, but.
But at least what I didn't mind with it in that one was it was very much. They were still just doing it because they wanted to kill them and they wanted to eat on their energy. That's all it was.
And in any case, that wasn't even their own voice. Here, it's outright angel voices.
Well, I thought they used Jodie's voice. That's what I thought they were using in that.
Were they?
I thought it was Jodie's as a whisper in almost telepathically. So. I couldn't quite tell. It sounded like Jodie's voice to me, but it was.
Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm wrong,
But yeah, I mean, yeah, talking angels kind of defeats the purpose of having them as stone. But I guess you could have done better horror elements with it. Imagine if they were in the forest and you could hear these whispers. That would be kind of creepy. But yeah.
Yeah, for a different enemy.
I suppose. Yeah.
I think they shouldn't have done all this to the weak angels. Whatever, what's done, can't do anything about it now.
What's done is done. It's in the past now. So yes, the Doctor met the kidnapper, and I gotta say, she played it really well. Tecton, I think, is how you play it. And I felt Jodie did. I thought they were great performances.
No doubt.
I get the story. I kind of just want them to leave the Doctor's past though at this point, right? I don't want the Doctor to get the memories. I don't want Bell and Vinda to be the parents. I really hope they don't go that way.
I have the feeling they're probably going to. Yep. Though. I think that's exactly where it's going.
Hey, Doctor Who, we know everything about. The Doctor Who we know everything about. Just yet.
Yeah. No, it's building to that, and as you say, it was. The acting and the actual construction of everything, in terms of how it was actually made, is all good. It's just the actual plot and the ideas being thrown here are just going further and further off the deep end. And it's just please stop.
Yeah, it's I think it's like adding more mystery is fine. Like, sure,
Yeah,
okay, there were doctors
but they're
before,
also adding
fine.
more mystery by taking it
But
away. Though.
that's the issue is they're explaining all these new mysteries. So
Mm,
actually, it doesn't add any more mystery.
mm,
It's just giving us more answers, different answers to what we thought they would be. But a mystery has to be left open ended, right? So like the
mm,
whole Sylvester McCoy Merlin thing, that like works because they've never ever answered it,
mm.
so it does add that mystery. When did he do this? What incarnation? Like, all
Yeah.
these things, and that is now mysterious and interesting, and it's one that sticks with me. I find that a really compelling and interesting story. Same with like the Hand of Omega. Clearly First Doctor took that on his ship and took it to Earth with
Yeah.
him. But it's like those are kind of mysteries. We're never explained fully as to how
Dark
he knew it.
details.
Like it's those. So I wouldn't mind the Doctor not actually being from Gallifrey. I've kind of got used to that now. Not my favorite storyline, but it's like I just don't want to know who her parents are. I just like it's fine if she was just some, being from another race, and maybe one day in the future we met another person from the race who knows of this person who got lost. But apart from that, like that's all I want to know. Like that mystery is interesting to me. I can see the whole division thing to me somewhat makes sense. I can see
In a way, but
it's interesting. It's a bit against Time Lord
it,
things though, isn't it? Because like the whole like the war games, are they like the anti-division? Because they were like, hey, you can't mess with anything, or were they part of
yeah,
division and they didn't like the Doctor messing with it, so they
I
exiled.
don't know. Wasn't the division as a whole like just set up on Gallifrey in the first place, right?
So division, it was started on Gallifrey, and it was basically them being like, okay, well, we
Yeah,
like you doing this, we don't like you doing that, we like you doing this, we don't like you doing that, and then because obviously the universe is so big and full of life, they started kind of hiring other people from different
yeah,
species and getting
exactly.
them on
Yeah.
board.
Mhm.
I wouldn't mind, like, I just don't. I feel like Weeping Angels just kind of sucks for one. I just don't see what do they gain out of it. I don't see them gaining anything out of this. Being part of
Well,
Division, I don't see Weeping Angels being gaining much.
I just know how. Yeah, well, I don't think it's the entire species. I think they're
Some of
technically
them,
like
yeah,
individuals
yeah,
who,
and I
like,
can get that, but I just always kind of got them as these guys who just wanted to eat and send
yeah,
people back in.
same.
So,
They didn't. They were just
yeah,
hungry, constantly
but
hungry,
exactly
everything.
right. Eat,
But
gotta eat, and that's why I didn't like Angels Take Manhattan as an
yeah,
episode, but as the concept that
mm,
really fit with me. They're farming the same humans over and over again. Like that's genius. If I wanted to eat constantly, that's what
yeah,
I'd do. If I was a Weeping Angel, you send it back to the same location, and then you just keep eating on that. Bring
yeah,
multiple people in, and then you've got a constant force that feeds itself. Like
yeah,
genius. That to me, like the Weeping
mm,
Angels are smart, but they only care about eating, which is why they wanted to steal the TARDIS, so then they could kind of,
yeah,
these kind of
exactly.
things, like that all
Mm,
made sense. But like being like spies or whatever, feed it back to the
so,
Time Lords, unless
yeah,
like they had something on them, like the Time Lords could destroy a Weeping Angel, but like
maybe, but I don't know.
the Time Lords
And
have
yeah,
an
that
endless supply of mirrors, and they're like, hey, we're gonna put this in front of
they
you.
do,
We're gonna
they
put mirrors in your hands if you don't. So they
do.
can't like do the thing. That they could
Well, I
just.
mean, they were under in the sort of like Gallifrey cellar
Yes, they
thingy
did
for
have them
hell bed.
linked into the Matrix, didn't they? Actually,
So they
maybe,
probably had
yeah,
some sort of like
hold over them. But yeah, I
yeah.
mean, I
I
it's
just oh,
you carry on.
I just don't like just how important they've made the Doctor to literally everything, like almost so it's important being in the universe.
I
It's
would
like
I would sort of disagree to an extent. I feel like it depends how they it really depends on the answers, right? If the Doctor isn't Belen Vinder's child, which I really hope she's not, I hope she's from a species that can all regenerate. Like, I hope that that is out there, that there's a whole different species from the other universe, literally the one that we saw, the orange one, I'm guessing, the blue one is ours, and that there's a different species there, and the Doctor somehow got, fell through this wormhole and is there, and she is of that species. She's not a special individual who was the very first person to be able to regenerate. I hope she's just a member of a species that can regenerate, and the Time Lords harness that, because that's very much a Time Lord thing to do. They take things, they like, I feel like that's a Time Lord trait at this point. They lie, they build on lies. They're very like, they're not a good, like, they try to stand above everyone, but they're not good people.
Yeah.
Look at Rassilon, look at all this.
Of
I can
course,
see that happening. Them being like, hey, fucking hell, we can have regeneration cycles. And that would make sense to me. I just don't like the Doctor having infinite regenerations. Like,
No.
I just hope that it's still that it's this cycle, and then when they reverted the Doctor back to a child, the first Doctor, that they gave him like a new, fresh regeneration cycle, so then it sticks with the Matt Smith regeneration story, and it also means that the Doctor's not fucking immortal, because if she's got endless regeneration, then like, what's the fucking point? What's the fucking point? Like,
yeah, well, just to go on that point. Well, I mean, okay, yeah, it makes sense. Like, if Doctor was just one of another, race of species that could regenerate, but then comes the point, well, what was the point in changing it if more or less it's going to be the same origin, just placed on a completely different planet? If they're not going to just basically have it to be like, originally the Doctor was a rogue, a runaway from Gallifrey, and, whatever. And now the Doctor is a rogue, a runaway from blah-de-blah planet who was found as a child. Well, not really a runaway, but you know what I mean.
A lost
it's more
child,
or less
yeah.
the same. It's sort of the same sort of origin. So it's kind of like, what was the point in changing it? Like, have the Doctor have more lives, sure, but why did you, fundamentally change the actual point of origin at that point?
To me, I guess, well, I think you could argue that we know so much about Gallifrey now that if we knew nothing about the Doctor's actual origin, that it adds more mystery, I guess. But like, I'm just playing
Gallifrey's
devil's
always a
advocate
place,
here.
shrouded in mystery. There's always so much we don't know about Gallifrey.
I know,
like,
but
even if we spent
I feel like the modern
time
writers
there,
just dislike Gallifrey. I feel like Moffat likes
yeah.
Gallifrey, but Russell T definitely didn't like Gallifrey that much. I think Chibnall also doesn't like Gallifrey, seeing as he blew it up in the series 12 finale. And then, yeah, I feel like Moffat was the only one who likes Gallifrey out of the current new few.
I don't understand why, because there's always so much you can do with it.
Right? Yeah, yeah. I feel like there's such an interesting force. But I don't think Tecton's dead. I don't think Swarm and Azure... Because okay, have you noticed that... Okay, so that when they disintegrate people, right? That effect looks so much like the Flux did itself. Like, they turn into these cloud energies. So I think they're going to find some way to reverse all of it. And it's going to rebuild the universe. They're not going to leave the universe as fucking destroyed. They're going to fix this. So I think they're going to somehow, like, invert Azure and Swarm, and it's going to, like, basically fix everything and spread it outwards. So I think all the people they've touched and killed, I think will actually come back to life. So I don't think Tecton's dead. I don't think that's the last we've seen of them. Because some people are like, oh, they just randomly kind of killed her mid-scene. And I feel like she's still going to show up. I mean, we've seen the potential orphanage, Longborough house or something. That's in the next time. Clearly, I think the Doctor's going to get turned into Dust Thing and then go to that location. That's my thought. Unless she goes into the memories and it's that. But... the only thing, like, still all of this that annoys me is that it's like, why did Ruth have a police telephone box? Like,
I think that's probably
just
going
a
to
mistake.
be explained. Well, that's probably going to be explained.
I hope it is, because I'm going to be...
He's probably going to bring something out the hat and go like, oh, it always was, but,
It's just so fucking dumb, though, isn't it?
I don't... Yeah,
I just really want an explanation for that.
Fundamentally, I just don't agree with the direction of the plot, and that's kind of it. It's not in this case so much about the everything else. Like I said about what they've been doing this season, I've enjoyed. I just didn't like the Time of the Children to begin with, and I'm still not liking it here. And in fact, probably even more so the more we've sort of had uncovered about it. I mean, I know you know, it's canon, the thing's the thing, and it's stuck now, whatever, move on. But I can still fundamentally disagree with it. You know, uh, I just,
Yeah, I think
uh,
I kind of wish that they. I mean, I got annoyed with Moffat doing it as well. We kept going back to like the very
yeah, but
beginning. You know, we kept going like then
and
he
it
didn't
was
run away because
annoying.
he ran away because of the hybrid and he was scared
Well,
and then the hybrid was me, so it wasn't even that bloody scary. It was a bloody you know teenage girl basically.
yeah, and then basically make Clara the savior of
Yeah,
Doctor's entire life up to that point, I guess. Now,
yeah, and like you know,
but
just
like,
leave the past alone. Like Jesus Christ, just if you want to do something with the
mm,
Doctor's past, right? Have a time jump, and then have something happen in that gap, which we as
mm,
an audience don't see. Literally, just do the time war thing again. Like you can do these crazy plots and just have a time jump. Like that's the best thing about
mm.
the Ninth
or
Doctor. We didn't see it, and you couldn't see it, and that's why it made it so much more mysterious about actually the events that happened, and that's why
or
like that, you know, Russell Tiera is so
mm.
more bloody like mysterious and interesting because of we never saw it. So just do a time jump.
or if you are, I always feel like I always felt like it shouldn't have really gone before the point where we first saw the first Doctor, or like, okay, like seeing him enter a TARDIS in, you know, Name of the Doctor. Okay, fine, but you know, like most of that before that, I feel like should have just been left alone. But like, if you are gonna do things and tell additional stories about the Doctor's past, you can do that. Just, you know, find places to fill in gaps, and you know, maybe have like a current Doctor face consequences of something that the past Doctor has done, for example, or you know, stuff like that, or you know, yeah. I mean, we already got that in stuff like Dare the Doctor, where it's just like, oh, there's a gap here. Now we know, you know, about what happened to the Eighth Doctor, and now, you know, we know about the War Doctor. You know, and that's, I think, a good way of, you know,
It's just
going
not
back,
before the
but
first
also,
Doctor, yeah.
but yeah, there should have, you know, I always feel like the Doctor's life before that junkyard should have been surrounded in mystery. Why did the Doctor leave with Susan? I mean, there are many explanations, and there probably should have always been. What was the Doctor's life in Gallifrey? Well, there's things that can be implied, you know, that it was kind of boring and, you know, just endlessly watching the galaxy without, like, actually interfering with it. But, you know, was there any other reason? You know, what drives somebody to leave their life and to depart out into the universe, going rogue from your entire
Yeah,
species?
to become a
You know?
fugitive and stuff.
There's you know, and like that should have just been left up to, you know, their
Imagination.
interpretation. But now none of that even matters because the Doctor's always been somebody doing stuff in the universe, granted under the watchful eye of some big
Division.
organization,
Yeah.
police, intergalactic space galaxy
It's just
thing.
it's
But you
just,
know, it's like it kind of makes the whole journey the Doctor's been on from the first Doctor onwards kind of like the less exciting Cliff Notes version of a long, exciting life, you
I just
know?
find it weird. Like you choose your name also, so the
Hmm.
Doctor chose the Doctor twice. It just to me just doesn't like. It just weirdly
I
feels.
guess certain. I mean, memories might have been white, but probably certain like things may have crept through,
I
like
suppose so.
the Doctor, and you know, maybe the want to go to Earth 1963 and lead tasks as a police box was something that was there before and sort of swept its way.
Yeah.
But I just don't like it. And like I said, it's like the character we've been watching for the last however, you know, almost 60 years at this point, almost doesn't matter. It is kind of a shell of a character compared to this wonder doctor who's been going like a bajillion lives and has done and accomplished so much and like, I don't like that.
Yeah, I guess we see what happens.
Mm,
Maybe his whole Flux thing is a reset. Who knows? But yeah, I guess
I doubt it.
I doubt it too.
Doubt it.
But we've got what is it? 4 episodes left of this era,
But
and then that's it.
yeah, to say about this episode, just to, I guess, at least say, like, this episode, certainly I found a heck of a lot better than the last two episodes. Like, they weren't bad episodes either, but
This is my favorite series so far, I'd say. For sure.
well, Jodie's.
Yeah, Jodie's, yeah.
I don't know.
Having rewatched both of them recently, it's the
Mm.
most consistent, and it's just had better character beats. And
I mean, yeah, I don't disagree with that. But I'm just saying this episode, I'm still not super keen on, but it's certainly a heck of a lot better. I feel like structured and made compared to the last two episodes. That's all I'm saying. I wasn't super keen on those really in a lot of ways. And because it's such a short season, I guess that hurts it a bit more in my mind compared to 11 and 12.
yeah, but to be honest, I've preferred this better consistent. It's clear that like Chibnall's strengths come in like this kind of serialized one story.
Yeah.
It's just been much more.
But his writing, certainly. I just miss the other writers.
Yeah, it's a shame not having any kind of guest writers, but there's like 4 left of this era, and that's it. So it's like I'm just kind of riding this wave till the end now, and then R2D2. But yeah, I feel like, I'm worried that we're not gonna get. I know we're just going to get more questions for like the next 3 episodes, the New Year's Day special.
The finale isn't going to answer all these questions.
And it's only an hour long, which I'm like super worried about. Like that, I was expecting it to be like maybe like 80 minutes, 70 minutes, but no, it's like, it is an hour. So I guess it's gonna just have to really get into it straight away and not waste a second.
Either we're gonna have like a massive train wreck clusterfuck, or lots of questions are gonna be left for the specials. Either way, I feel like it's gonna be.
They have to conclude the Flux at least. They have to stop the Flux.
Oh yeah, no, the series will the Flux will be done, but like. Other questions you might have might be held off. I don't know. I kind of hope we just get more standalone specials, but
yeah,
no, it's probably just gonna continue on like whatever happens here. Which who knows what's gonna happen here, right?
I think the one thing I'm kind of like at least enjoying is I just have no idea where this is kind of going, at least. Like, I love that.
We kind of already predicted the whole.
Oh, yeah. Obviously, if that happens, bloody hell. But Twitter will melt down. But,
an already fractured fan base will be completely decimated. I'm so glad I don't really follow Doctor Who Twitter.
Honestly, I might have to. The past week has been awful. There's people been going like. Trying to excuse toxic positivity because at least toxic positivity is better than toxic negativity. But both have toxic in the name. They're both bad. Toxic is bad. It's like, oh, well, this person murdered someone with a flamethrower, but this person murdered someone with a knife. Well, a flamethrower is meaner, so I'm gonna say that one's bad. Like they both murdered. Like it's like
healthy discussion and disagreement is important.
Yeah, and
it shouldn't be excused somebody completely like, I guess, jutting others down. You can always
I stay out of it. I'm not interested in trying to.
No, like I said, I don't really follow beyond like the official Doctor Who account and Big Finish. I don't follow anybody Doctor Who related. I don't really go out of my way to look for things either on Twitter because I just know I'm just gonna hate it. I just don't.
It gets tiring because it just gets people like calling out each other, then complaining that they don't want to cause discourse, and then they kind of say something. The next minute they say something that's actually pretty like obviously going to cause discourse, but then they defend themselves because they should be able to say anything. But then they get tired that people keep. It's like just like you just stop doing what you're doing. But it's just a cycle. It's just on both sides. Everyone is as bad as each other. But you know, all I say is that what I like, and that's it. And people could not agree, and that's fine. Like,
well, exactly.
I'm not interested in responding. You know.
Yeah, sometimes I disagree with myself.
Right, like that's the thing. I'll change my opinion on things, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
The previous reviews that we did,
At
and I'm
least,
like I don't agree with myself at all. There,
Azure and Swarm are definitely like if you had to choose like standout creatures from this era, they're the ones.
They just kind of stand there and occasionally wave at somebody.
I found them at least interesting.
Like they haven't.
I guess we need to see what their major plan is, though. Like, we don't know what their whole thing is yet.
Well, exactly, and we're at the finale. It's like we should have had They didn't even seem like the main. Like the division has felt like the bigger overarching threat than they have. To be honest, at the end of the day,
it has, yeah.
Stood in rooms and occasionally disintegrated
and
people
and collected
a lot of people together. And look stylish. They look cool. Their makeup is wonderful. Don't get me wrong. It's just, in terms of what they actually do, and you know, like the amount which they've actually let us in on about them, it's like we don't know anything. Like they haven't drip fed more information about them. Like what we knew about them at the beginning is more or less what we know about them now, beyond like the explanation of whatever these giant suits are.
I'm guessing we're gonna get the backstory of how at least his sister ended up in some fake.
We'd hope so. It'd be very weird if they.
Right?
But like again, how much they need to fit into this finale? It's like we've got to find out everything about them because all we know is that.
It's too much, isn't it?
We know about them being assaulted by the Roof Doctor and the Division. We know that they got locked up. He came and got her out. They don't like these angel things and knocked them away, and now they're collecting people. And I mean, we know so little about them. It's like, again, they haven't felt much of a threat beyond just an annoyance here and there to get in the Doctor's way, whereas the Division's sort of this big overarching bad. Which, you know, given how they've hyped up the series, you know, maybe it should have been the other way around.
I just can't see it in 59 minutes, like answering all of it satisfactorily.
It's just a huge heap of Chibnall exposition.
That's it. It's literally actually just Chibnall with a whiteboard, and he's actually like, and then this.
So here are my ideas.
This is my dog. He inspired Carvanista. He goes woof. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. It is what it is. We ride it to the end. Ride or die, basically.
Yeah, we're here until the show ends. We'll be here.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's kind of crazy that in less than 2 years, R2D2 is back.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Just need to endure a bit more. Again, that's not even bad. Like I said, I didn't hate this episode.
Fine. Like it's fine. I'm not finding any want to rewatch it. That's my main thing.
Same. Like there are a couple of plot lines in here which I found enjoyable. It's just the main issue I have is with the main plot line and the way it's being executed. And you know, I also feel like the main plot has hijacked the last episode and sort of made the episode before that a massive, sort of not even that enjoyable mess. To be honest, in retrospect, I don't remember what was it like.
If you don't like the whole timeless child thing, and the Division, like anything that's related to it is always going to be
exactly. And then there's not a lot else for anybody else. Like I really loved War of the Sontarans, like a lot.
Yeah.
Even if the Weeping Angel episode had been the only other episode like that, I would have, you know, been a lot happier. But it's like I don't have much to latch on to here, given that I don't like where the overarching plot is going. It's like, what do I have left? You know, one really good episode. I mean, I guess I'll take it. I really enjoyed that episode, but like,
I say episode one. I say episode one was still quite out of not super connected, at least, because it's the setup, I guess. 1 and 2 is kind of a
okay. Yeah. I did enjoy episode 1. It's still like my second favorite of the series, I guess, overall. But like, again, it is ultimately just a bunch of previews and setups to things, which I ultimately haven't always enjoyed the payoff for.
Mm, mm.
So, hmm.
Well, I was happy that the Sontarans were back. I honestly didn't think we'd see him again. Like, that actually caught me off guard. I thought they were going to do something else. I thought it was just going to be Daleks or
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, they have.
which are there, and the Cybermen. It's basically, it's literally Colin Baker's, Daleks, Cybermen, like, what is it, Sontarans, Daleks, Cybermen from Trial of a Time Lord. I think Chris Chibnall's just trying to say sorry to Pip and Jane Baker. I think that's all he's trying to do. He's just trying to put them all in. He feels sorry. He feels so bad for what he did to Colin. That he's yeah. It's a lot. Like, adding those guys in, like, fucking hell. You just need, like, 3 more episodes, it feels like, just to...
Yeah, the rest of the series we need.
Like, it would have been fine if having a load of questions, but then from episode, like, 4 onwards, it should have been answering them. Not adding more.
Well, at least...
We just keep getting more every episode.
Drip feeding answers. Just spread it out a bit, you know? I mean, this is kind of where we got to last season as well, a little bit. Was that, like, there was a huge dump of information for the timeless children.
Yeah, like, it was completely not even mentioned until, like... Until the episode, actually, wasn't it?
Because it was... just shows up with a port of the Gallifrey and go, hey, I'm gonna
change everything. Yeah. That was it. Because, yeah, it was like... Because they didn't even mention the Timeless Children, did they? They mentioned... Like, there was a whole Fugitive Doctor thing, obviously.
Yeah.
But they never actually said Timeless Children there. So then it was just suddenly... do you remember this one thing that we said in this one episode? Right at the start of Series 11. Well, guess what? Now this dedicated. Fuck the Cybermen. We're coming in now. Yeah. Aye. Well, yep. That's it till the end. I had a good time watching it. I'm just trying to enjoy it.
I didn't hate it, but
I'm just taking it for what it is. I'm sure Russell T will just basically just do kind of what he did last time, and just kind of really completely ignore most things that came before it. Same like with what Moffat almost tried to do with everything not happening because of the cracks. Still don't completely get that of what happened there.
Again, despite the fact that, and I mean, this continues to establish that things did happen. The War Machines happened. The Web of Fear happened. You know, it's like, but what didn't happen then? Well, I'm still baffled.
Everything and not everything. That's the answer. Anything that did happen has not happened, but has. That's just the best way to go. Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey. That's the answer to anything. So yeah, I see just Russell T going off, just different direction.
Please.
I'll be interested if he does a time jump. Because I mean that worked so well for the 9th. I feel like you can insert something again, right? Like, wouldn't it be interesting if we didn't really see a new Doctor's first moments? What if we just joined them halfway through, like their cycle? Like, what have they been doing before this? Like, it would be a different way to meet a Doctor.
It'd be fun to maybe circle back to it.
Yeah,
like
you could.
The fans always want to have all those regeneration.
Oh no! We see the regeneration.
But later.
We see it. No, we could even see it in the episode. But then, we stop there. And then, when the 60th comes along, they're it's 10 years they've already been this incarnation. What happened in these 10 years? That's where you can really add mystery without having to, fuck with prior eras. That's the way... If I ever did it, that's the way I'd want to add in new storylines. It happened... still during my era. I always I don't mind referencing other eras, but if you go back and start manipulating things that happened in it, I don't know. To me, I mean, it's the whole argument of death of the author kind of thing, which is a whole literacy theory and who owns what and so on. Personally, I'd hate to go back and change something that someone else had clearly intended it to be this. And while maybe I think differently, I wouldn't change it.
or if I was at least like, I mean, I know in this case you can't properly consult with people who recently like involved, but if possible, try to get like,
You could see interviews, documentaries. It's all
yeah,
like there'll be written things. I mean, Verity Lambert is like you got to take the show seriously, or then it's just a
mm,
joke. Which I think
yeah,
sometimes this season it's hit it a
yeah.
lot more in taking it seriously.
Well,
Um,
also, can I just say like that the fact that the division released the Flux because the Doctor was giving people hope, or like, what? Why now? Like, surely the Doctor's been doing that since the beginning. Like, what's changed? What? Why?
well, I'm guessing Tecton got stuck on Gallifrey during the Time War, so then only did they just get out now. I kind of want there to
What?
be some kind of timeline between Hellbent and the Master destroying it. Yeah,
But
I just
like,
want a
but
bit of
like,
a timeline.
why? Like, what?
Well, because
So
maybe the division can operate properly because of what happened, and they only just got back up and running, and they're like, you know what, fuck
they
this,
clearly got like a massive like. I mean, at least they got a massive army of weeping angels, if nothing else.
right?
They could sort out most things. So it's like, what was so necessary that they needed to nuke the universe? And they were like, oh, Doctor, you're just giving everybody hope, and you're or whatever. It's like,
Well, just going in and messing up with their plans, and yeah, I guess.
oh, what, what in particular?
Well,
What's
I
this?
guess all of them. You know, like if you meddle long enough, you're going to start to cause ripples, right? Like
Hmm.
one revolution could change a billion
So
years of history.
if they could capture the Doctor as an angel, why not just
Do that before.
take the
Yeah.
Doctor out of the picture and do whatever you want? Why did you need to nuke the universe?
Because they wanted to start again. It'd gone too far gone in one direction. I don't know. You could argue there's other things like the Daleks being in there and so on. It's like, why don't we go to a universe where there are no Daleks, and then they could
I mean, was that
control.
the problem though? I
Well,
mean,
it's
surely.
interesting. So was the Fourth Doctor doing Division style stuff in Genesis? Is that what kind of happened there? Because that seems very Division-y, doesn't it? Like getting involved at such a key moment. I mean, it's just anything like even I said this the other day.
uh,
Like the Time Meddler to me then kind of fits under that umbrella of being in the
again,
division, like because
except
he's changing things to be. I mean, yeah, he's going a bit more rogue maybe on it,
yeah,
but
he's entirely like entitled and going like, oh
yeah,
yes, I think I know what's best. I know that Harold would be a better
better
king of
king, yeah.
England. Therefore, I want him. I'll
Um,
change the future
yeah,
to
but
do
it
that.
would just to me it makes sense that that's how he would get his hands on a TARDIS. Because fucking hell, if like these are time machines, man. Like it should be bloody difficult to steal one. Like,
Yeah, but he was a Time Lord though, so
well, yeah, but I mean, like to steal a TARDIS at a newer model as well. 50 years after, apparently, according to William Hartnell, which in Time Lord years is bloody like a minute. 50 years, but
mm.
there
I
we
mean,
go.
if they're about, surely there'll be ways to capture it. So
I
yeah.
suppose, but to me, I just feel like, at least I feel like him being in the division, sort of, and then going rogue, kind of. I don't know. I don't mind that too much.
Yeah, I still don't. I really don't.
But head canon, at least, you can ignore it. But yeah, anyway, that's it. Next week, well, not next week, this Sunday,
Yeah.
The Vanquishers.
Ooh.
Will it vanquish all hope of mystery for the Doctor and their origin? Quite possibly, but we ride this
Thank
wave to
my
the end.
soul.
Yeah, but I'm enjoying my watch through of Doctor Who. I'm
Like I said, it's not a badly made episode by any means, but
yeah.
I just don't like.
You
But
just
look,
yeah.
everything else is fine.
Yeah.
I guess. You know.
That is what it is. Onwards and upwards.
Or downwards.
You can't get much more down.
I think you can.
I can't see Russell T managing to go.
Oh well, I guess if you're thinking that far
Oh,
forward,
I mean,
yeah.
like we've only got 4 episodes left. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, you could do some damage in that time, but I don't think he ever means, he's not purposely going out to do damage. He's just trying to do something new and different with it. I can respect it. Doesn't mean you have to like it. Doesn't mean you have to attack him personally.
No,
I mean, I'm not.
of course
I know
not.
I'm not saying you're doing it. Just idiots out there. But
About my burner account.
your alt Twitter account where you just tweet about Chibnall every minute of the day. Like bloody hell.
No.
Right.
No.
We'll see you next time, guys. Bye.